Welcome to Chapter 5. Energizing superfood snacks and soups to jumpstart your intuition. There are trillions of cells within your precious body, and each one of them needs proper nutrition to maintain a high level of energy and vitality. That's why you should consume only foods and beverages that match up and align with your true intentions. If you eat high energy, high vibrational foods, then cells will mimic that energy and vibration. As you eat and drink different things, your body is absorbing the life force, the true essence and energy of those substances. This is circulated to your cells, and that is what influences your mood, your motivation, and your creativity. And of course, it has a very real impact on your intuition. This is why when we eat high energy foods, we feel alive, we feel awakened. Conversely, if we eat artificial substances or human made foods, we can feel sluggish, tired, and maybe even depressed. Every 90 days, your body has a complete new supply of red blood cells. So 90 days from right now, every single red blood cell within your circulatory system is going to be different. Your body is constantly recreating itself in response to the direction your life is currently headed. This is a true blessing. It means that today you can make healthier choices than you did yesterday. And by tomorrow, your body will already have begun to respond. So instead of consuming fast food, try that superfoods in this chapter. You'll be amazed by how much clearer your intuition becomes in just a short time. Okay, let's talk about kale. Topping the list of superfoods we love is kale. This fantastic green leafy vegetable is jam-packed with nutrition. Kale is quite low in calories, approximately 36 per cup, and high in fiber. The cleansing properties of the fiber help to remove toxins from your digestive tract, capture unhealthy fats, and pull them out of your system. Regulate blood sugar levels, reduce cholesterol levels, thereby relieving pressure on the heart. The emerald green color eases the area around the heart on a physical level and resonates with the heart chakra, healing us emotionally too. The kale itself doesn't have any fat, which helps account for its low calorie count. But don't be fooled, just because it isn't high in calories doesn't mean it's not nutrition dense. There are around 80 different nutritions found in kale. There are so many benefits from just one simple food. Per calorie, kale contains more iron than beef. The iron in kale is highly absorbable by the body. Another leafy green, spinach, contains iron too, but it has high levels of oxalates. This bind to the iron and also calcium and make it challenging for the body to break it down. Kale is very high in vitamin K, which works to maintain your blood consistency so it's not too thick and not too thin, and which may help combat various cancers. Vitamin K is also important for bone health and can boost calcium absorption. Kale is rich in vitamin A, which helps balance your immune system and is healing to the skin. It can break down mucus congestion and clear sinus issues. Kale also provides a great deal of vitamin C to boost your immune system. Vitamin C helps rebuild your body's energy stores as well. Kale can help reduce inflammation as it contains soothing omega-3 fatty acids. Kale is a great source of calcium and has more available calcium per calorie than milk. Kale even contains protein to provide you with energy and help your body build and repair all its tissues. This powerful green vegetable is so versatile. You can serve it in salads, you can stir fry it, you can steam it, you can add it to soups, you can even mix it into smoothies, which is one of our favorite ways to enjoy it. Substituting kale for lettuce in a salad works beautifully. You pull the soft leaves from the hard, tough stem of the plant and then gently massage the kale. When Robert, first saw massaged kale listed on a restaurant menu, I thought it was the most hilarious thing I'd ever heard of. I wondered, what on earth does that mean? Well, it means exactly what it implies. I tried it on my own. To my surprise, massaging the kale made it much easier to eat. You just lightly squash the cabbage-like leaves between your hands and it will break down some of the toughness. It gives the kale more of a lettuce spinach kind of texture. You can massage the leaves with the fat such as fresh avocado or with oils. For wonderful tenderness and flavor, in my research I found that this technique helps release any bitterness that the kale leaf may contain. So it makes it a little sweeter and tastier. We also love to add the tiny sweet seeds from inside pomegranates to our kale salads because they are rich in vitamins. This high vibrational fruit just beams with joy. You can also pop the seeds into your smoothies or juices for a dose of happiness. We will be talking about how to make green smoothies a little later on, but you can start enjoying kale right away with the following 2 recipes. Kale salad. This lovely salad features massaged kale paired with interesting flavor and texture of pomegranate seeds. Using the fruits just as a dressing tops of an uplifting and refreshing meal. Ingredients: 2 cups kale with stems removed, half of avocado, seeds from half of pomegranate, 1 tablespoon sunflower seeds, juice from remaining half of pomegranate. In a salad bowl, massage the avocado into the kale leaves to soften. Sprinkle the pomegranate seeds and sunflower seeds throughout. Dress with juice from the remaining half of the pomegranate. Kale Chips. This healthy snack has a bit of crunch, just another fun way to include nutrition-loaded kale in your diet. Ingredients: 1 bunch kale, 1 teaspoon Celtic or Himalayan sea salt, 2 tablespoons olive oil, herbs and spices of choice for seasoning. Carefully tear the kale leaves from the stalk, leaving them in big pieces. Add the leaves and other ingredients to a large bowl. Gently massage the kale and make sure every leaf is coated. Place on a baking tray lined with parchment paper and set in an oven 250 Fahrenheit to 120 Celsius. You may wish to leave the door open to prevent the oven from getting too hot. The aim here is to dry the kale, not burn it. Turn the leaves over after 15 minutes and cook for an additional 15 minutes. Remove the tray from the oven and allow to cool. You can season the leaves with a variety of herbs and spices, including paprika or chili powder. You might even try dipping them in some homemade salsa. Sprouts. When you think of a plant's life cycle and how it begins to grow, the sprout stage is one of the most energy-intense intervals. Courageously breaking through that seed pod and making its way into the world takes so much determination and fortitude. Sprouts are quite literally seeds that have just begun to grow. Alfalfa sprouts are the most widely known, but there are also many other kinds: mung bean, chickpea, and broccoli, just to name a few. The nutrition density, energy, and vibration of sprouts are all very high. We enjoy them in our salads and smoothies. Sprouts give us brand new life force from the plant. We wondered if it was okay to eat them, given that this is newly created life. When we asked the angels, they said that we must consume sprouts because they are so powerfully nutritious and also wonderfully uplifting to our energy. Mother Nature and God aren't upset about our harvesting their creation for food. Instead, they endorse incorporating sprouts into our diets to give us the energy to go the distance. If we can move forward feeling uplifted, positive, and safe, we've achieved the true goal that all life in the natural world is here for. You can enjoy sprouts in many different ways, even as snacks during the day. For example, mix them in with a little hummus to create a wonderfully delicious spread on crackers. Some varieties are more flavorful than others, but the taste doesn't matter as much as the freshness and vitality of the plant. How to grow your own sprouts. Growing your own sprouts is easy and fun to do. You have a couple of options. Purchase a sprouting kit from your local health food store or online, or create your own with a glass jar and a piece of muslin cloth or cheesecloth. You can purchase regular organic sunflower seeds, pepitas, mung beans, chickpeas, lentils, quinoa, and several others from your health food store. Or alternatively, you can buy seeds, grains, or legumes that have been packaged specifically for the purpose of sprouting. They amount to the same thing, and you'll have to trust your intuition as to which type is the freshest. That being said, the sprouting section of the store will often have varieties that aren't available elsewhere, so be sure to check it out. Begin by adding some of the seeds, grains, or legumes to your glass jar. Fill with water, cover with the kit's lid or your piece of cloth. A rubber band is useful to hold in place, and let it sit for 8 to 12 hours. Now drain the water by simply inverting the jar. The cloth or sprouting lid will hold in your sprouts. Rinse well by filling with fresh water, shaking and emptying. Repeat this a few times before setting the jar upside down on a sunny windowsill so they can access water can drain out. Every 8 to 12 hours, again, rinse the sprouts by filling the jar with fresh water, shaking and draining, each time getting as much excess water out as possible. After 3 to 4 days of absorbing the energy from the sun, your sprouts will begin to appear. Give them another really good rinsing before enjoying them. You can store them in the fridge for a few more days. When you get inspired about sprouting, you may choose to have several sprout jars growing at once. This way you can alternate which sprouts you enjoy, as well as have a constant supply. Satisfying soup. In order for your intuition to be fully activated and awakened, your body needs to be filled with nourishing, high vibrational foods. At times, this might seem like a struggle. You may feel that you're constantly sitting down to eat the same meal again and again. Doing the same thing repeatedly is not only boring, it's bad for your body. We encourage you to rotate your foods, including leafy green vegetables, because your body craves an assortment. When you focus on one or two foods to the exclusion of other options and have them every day, you miss out on important nutrition and your body can become upset. That's where soups come in. Let's be honest, you probably don't love every single vegetable, and that's okay. Pretend for a moment that you've sat down to some steamed zucchini, not your favorite. You look at it and push it around the plate, trying your best to work up the willpower to take a bite. Unfortunately, this rarely happens. With the soup, you can add loads of nutritious vegetables, some of which you may not even care for. Blend the soup up and enjoy all sorts of wonderful goodness without any disagreeable flavors. Soup simplicity. Soups are so simple to make. You quite literally just throw a whole heap of different veggies and herbs into a pot. Cover with some water and allow to boil for an hour or two. When the vegetables become tender, the soup is ready. We like to add an extra step of blending our soups. A puree is much easier for your body to absorb. Think of how many times you chew your food before you swallow it. Maybe even go grab a bite to eat right now and test yourself. On average, most of us will chew each mouthful of food fewer than 10 times. Neuropathic guidelines suggest that we should chew at least 30 times before swallowing. Chewing your food well is going to break it down to the smallest size possible. When you swallow, your body can easily digest all the nutrition the meal contains. Try chewing each mouthful of food 30 times and notice just how long it takes you to eat something. Your jaw will probably become sore because it's unused to utilizing those muscles for just an extended period. Think of a raw carrot sticks. Carrot is quite a hard vegetable, isn't it? You generally chew it a couple of times and swallow. Now your digestive system has to process big chunks that it can possibly break down. The body will do its best, but it's not going to absorb all the goodness of the carrot. Now think of it this way. That carrot has been blended and pured so that the whole vegetable has turned to mush. It has been stewing for an hour or longer. You can now easily absorb everything the carrot has to give you. The small particle size means your body can extract more nutrition. You might be thinking, how can a food that's been cooked for so long be so high energy and high vibrational? Well, when your vegetables are organic, the energy from the time and care it's taken to grow them comes through in the meal. What we'll often do is create a big pots with loads and loads of vegetables fresh from our local farmer's market, or we'll put cut vegetables in high-speed blender to make a naturally creamy soup. We then allow it to cook for hour for however long it needs. We keep some of the soup in the refrigerator to feed our families for the next couple of days. We put the remainder into BPA-free containers and store them in the freezer. Even after being frozen for a month or two, the soup is still high energy and so wonderfully nourishing. The fiber deprived from the soup from all those beautiful vegetables act like a pipe cleaner that clears out your digestive system. It pulls away toxic compounds and any poorly digested substances and flushes them out of your body. Research has also shown that high fiber diets can help reduce cholesterol. By releasing these toxins, you'll experience an increased sense of clarity. When you feel sluggish, tired, or bloated after eating, it's because the meal was dense and heavy. It may take your body an extra hour or two to break it down. When that happens, messages from your own divine guidance become fuzzy. It's like you've got cotton balls in your ears. Of course, your angels don't go away. In truth, they never leave your side. It's just that your ability to hear them is no longer as cute. When you eat soup, you feel light, energized, and refreshed. You don't feel bloated and uncomfortable because your body instantly goes to work digesting as soon as you start the meal. In fact, in an experiment, a group of people were given a plate full of vegetables and a glass of water, while a second group received the same amounts of food blended all together in a soup. Interestingly, the group who had the soup felt fuller, reporting that they remained satisfied for longer. The researchers drew the conclusion that when we don't chew our food very well, it sinks to the bottom of the stomach and the water floats on top. Those food particles go through first and the water quickly follows. Then we feel hungry again. In the case of the soup, it's filling up the stomach with diffuse particles suspended in liquid. Your stomach recognizes that every part of that meal is food. It's vegetables, it's fiber, it's herbs, and it's water. The entire digestive system is working to absorb the nutrients, the vibration, and the energy, from what you've just eaten. At the same time, you're unlocking all of the potential nutrition from those organic vegetables. That's why soup makes you feel fuller and satisfied. Raw soups. We also like to make what are called raw soups. Now, for this, we actually use friction from the spinning blades of a high-powered blender, such as the Vitamix, to heat the food. With this technique, you can throw a couple of whole vegetables, a tomato or two, and a little bit of water into the blender and leave it on for 8 to 10 minutes. That's enough to heat up the food and make it into a steaming soup. In truth, the food is still raw. It's not cooked like traditional soup, where it has been brought to high heat and simmered for hours. This raw soup has different energy altogether, as you're also bringing in some of the freshness of the high vibrational ingredients. We like to rotate the different ways in which we enjoy soup. We have some raw soups and some cooked. Then when we're short on time to prepare a meal, we'll pull one of our storage containers out of the freezer and heat the contents up on the stove, and in 15 to 20 minutes we've got delicious healthy soup to enjoy. Water. Making soup is like creating a magical mixture of energy and nutrition. The flavors from the different vegetables and herbs are infused into the water. lending their healing vibrations to the broth. That's why we really don't like boiling vegetables. By straining the water, you're sending the best part of the meal down the drain. You might as well throw those vegetables in the garbage and drink the broth because it's probably got more nutrition in it. Choose the best quality water you can to make your soup. Depending on where you are in the world, the tap water may very well contain fluoride. Many different studies have shown the negative side effects of fluoride. We're told that the fluoride is helping strengthen our teeth, but that's shocking is that it makes absolutely no difference. Research comparing countries that have fluoride in their water with those that don't has demonstrated that they have the same prevalence of dental cavities. Fluoride is also a toxic chemical linked to many diseases and health issues, including the growth of some tumors. The best way to remove fluoride from your tap water is through reverse osmosis. This is a filtration system you can have installed in your home. You can also buy bottled water, ideally in glass bottles without added fluoride. If you're going to create a high vibrational intuition boosting soup, then please use natural spring water or reverse osmosis filtered water. By cooking your soup in a nourishing base, you enhance the quality. When you eat something that has toxic compound in it, of course, that's going to dampen your psychic abilities. So take fluoride out of the equation. Before you throw in all the vegetables, take a moment to infuse the pot of water with positive energy. Hold your hands just above it and close your eyes for a moment. You might find it helpful to briskly rub your palms together for a few seconds first. This awakens the chakras in your hands, making them more sensitive. Next, visualize the purifying white light coming out through your palms and radiating into the water. See every molecule responding to that energy, raising its vibration. Then as you consume the soup, the energy you absorb will be magnified. You can also use this moment to infuse the soup with a specific prayer or intention. If you like to awaken your clairvoyance, see yourself receiving clear visions as you send that intention to the soup. If you like to have a stronger connection with God and your angels, imagine them standing right beside you and communicating with you in a meaningful way. If you'd like to attract more love or find a supportive spiritual group, envision yourself in a perfectly balanced soulmate relationship or among like-minded friends. Water is such a wonderful vessel for energy. It retains a magical memory of the vibration it was infused with. If you send love into your water, then the water will respond in kind. This is why it's so important to be peaceful and open as you prepare your food. If you create a soup or any meal in an agitated state, then you're going to introduce stress into the meal. Every time you take the soup out of the freezer, you'll pick up on the vibration of stress. Isn't it so much better to cook in a peaceful state, to feel connected and loved, so that every time you consume that soup, you feel those wonderful, positive things? Legumes. You can add extra ingredients to your soup and make it your own. Allow your creativity to flow freely. We love to just throw in everything we have on hand that we feel guided to use and see what happens. Sometimes we'll add legumes like beans and lentils. There are two ways you can consider including this. Buy dried legumes. Soak the beans in a big bowl of water for at least 24 hours because they have to rehydrate themselves. Another important reason for this soaking period is that beans and legumes naturally contain traces of toxins, chemicals the plant produces to ward off pests and bugs. If you're eating large amounts of legumes, you don't want to take in any of these toxin elements. By soaking them in water for a day or two, you allow the toxicity to be drawn out. Afterwards, rinse well and add the beans and legumes to the soup. Gently simmer for an hour to an hour and a half, making sure that they're nice and tender. What's often easier is to use canned beans and lentils. You can keep them in the cupboard ready to go without needing preparation a day ahead of time. You can just grab a few cans out of the cupboard and make your meal on the fly. Many canned beans and lentils have added salt in the water, so be sure to rinse them really well. Don't drink the water because it could contain some of those toxic compounds we just mentioned. After thoroughly rinsing, we feel guided to place those beans in a bowl of clean water, just like we would dried beans. Often though, we feel half an hour to an hour is enough to soak time, just long enough to help pull out the added salt or any toxins. It's really important to choose canned products that have no BPA in the lining. You'll notice there's a plastic film inside the can that protects the beans from coming into contact with the metal. If the container if it contains BPA, this chemical can actually create hormone balances within your body. This is not exclusive to women either, affecting men just strongly. The brand Amy's guarantees that one of their canned products contained BPA. It's something you'll want to be aware of. You're making the soup to raise your vibration and enhance your intuition. Therefore, you'll want each meal to be as clean and chemical free as possible. Here are 2 soup recipes after for a light meal or snack. You simply chop up the ingredients and pop them all into a large pot, and you will have a wonderful supply of delicious, nourishing soup. Vegetable soup. Ingredients: 1 head green cabbage, 3 parsnips, 1 cup mushrooms, 5 carrots, 5 spring onions, 5 celery sticks, 2 zucchini, 4 stalks kale, 5 cups chopped tomatoes. Good quality organic canned tomatoes are fine. 3 tablespoons chopped garlic, 5 teaspoons dried parsley, 5 teaspoons dried basil, 1.5 chili powder, 4 vegetable-based salt-reduced stock boiling cubes. Chop up all vegetables, then add ingredients to a pot with 12 cups of water and simmer for 1 to 2 hours. The squash soup ingredients: 2 butternut squash, peeled and cubed, 4 cups vegetable stock, half teaspoon minced fresh ginger, 1 cup cashew sour cream, recipe on page 83. Roast squash in 350 Fahrenheit, 180 Celsius. Oven for 45 minutes or until tender. Add squash and other ingredients to a pot with 2 cups of water and simmer 1 to 2 hours. High vibration food allows your intuition to open. In contrast, artificial sweeteners, artificial colors, and generally fake food clog up your energy centers, blocking the ability to receive messages from your angels. It makes it very hard to hear divine guidance. By eating real food, especially nourishing superfoods and filling soups, you ensure that the channels to your intuition remain clear.